Sometimes it's hard to practice speaking English. Maybe you feel shy. Maybe you don't have anyone to talk to. Or maybe you just don't know what to say. But listening to slow, real stories can help. When you hear simple English again and again, your brain starts to remember it. In today's video, you'll hear calm, quiet stories about rainy days, like watching the rain from your window or sending a message to a friend. You'll practice soft, emotional phrases in present or past tense sentences. These stories are gentle and easy to follow. So listen slowly, speak with me, and let's enjoy English together. The window and the rain started with a sound. Tulp, tulp, tulp. Soft, gentle raindrops hitting the window. Sarah looked up from her book. She was sitting on the couch with a blanket wrapped around her legs. The room was quiet. No TV. No music. Just the rain. She smiled. Finally, she whispered. Zen. She stood up, walked to the window and pulled the curtain back a little. Outside, the world looked soft. The sky was a pale gray. The street was shiny and wet. A few people were walking past with umbrellas in their hands. Red, blue, one with polka dots. She watched a couple walking slowly, side by side under a large black umbrella. Another person rushed by, holding a bag over their head. Sarah leaned her forehead gently against the cool glass. It's one of those days, she said to herself, when you just want to stay in. She turned and walked into the kitchen. The floor was cold under her bare feet. She opened a cupboard, took out her favorite mug, the one with little stars on it, and dropped a tea bag inside. She poured hot water from the kettle. Steam rose. The smell of chamomile filled the room. Back on the couch, she wrapped herself in the blanket again, holding the mug with both hands. Warm, quiet, safe. The rain kept falling. Her cat, Momo, jumped onto the windowsill and stared outside. His ears twitched as he watched the raindrops slide down the glass. You like the rain too, huh? Sarah said with a soft laugh. She took a sip of her tea, then another. She wasn't thinking about work, or her phone, or her long to-do list. Right now she was just here, sitting by the window, listening to the rain, watching people go by. A little girl skipped past the window wearing yellow rain boots. She jumped into a puddle and giggled. Sarah laughed too. I used to do that, she thought. And just for a second she felt something calm, like time had slowed down. Sarah looked around her small apartment, the plants on the shelf, the quiet books, the soft light. This is enough, she said softly. This is more than enough. Now I want to hear from you. Do you like to watch the rain from your window? Your story might help someone else feel less alone. Share it below. Let's practice what you learned from this story. Say these out loud with me. Sitting by the window. 1. Listening to the rain. 2. Soft sound. 3. Watching people. 4. Rainy day. The more you repeat, the more confident you'll get. Ready for the next story? Glowing star. Making a cup of tea. The rain was still falling outside. Daniel looked out the window for a moment, then took a deep breath. It had been a long morning, phone calls, emails, noise. Too much. He needed a break. A small quiet moment. So he walked into the kitchen. He moved slowly, not in a rush. The kitchen was quiet. Just the soft hum of the refrigerator and the faint sound of rain tapping the window. Daniel opened the cupboard and took out his favorite mug, the big blue one with a small chip on the side. He filled the kettle with water and turned it on. While he waited, he leaned on the counter and looked around. Nothing to do right now.
No meetings. No notifications.
Just this moment. The kettle clicked. The water was ready. He dropped a tea bag into the mug. The smell of peppermint started to rise. He poured the hot water slowly, watching the color change from clear to soft green. The steam lifted up in the air and curled like smoke. It looked almost like it was dancing. Daniel smiled a little. He picked up the cup with both hands and held it close. Warm, light, comforting. He didn't say anything. He didn't need to. Just a few quiet minutes with a warm drink, that was enough. He sat at the table by the window. The chair creaked softly as he sat down. Outside, people walked by with jackets and umbrellas. Cars moved slowly on the wet road. Daniel took a sip. It was warm, a little sweet, not too strong. He felt his shoulders relax. His hands weren't tense anymore. Even his breathing slowed down. I needed this, he thought. He remembered his grandmother. She used to make tea every afternoon, always at the same time. She'd sit near the window just like this, holding her tea and looking outside. She'd be proud of me right now, he whispered with a small laugh. Time passed slowly. The tea cooled down little by little. The rain kept falling. And Daniel? He stayed in that chair, just sitting, just being. Not thinking too much. Not trying to do anything big.
Just drinking tea.
Just feeling calm. Now I want to hear from you. What is your favorite drink on a rainy day? Your answer might give someone else a cozy idea. Share it in the comments below. Let's practice what you learned from this story. Say these out loud with me. Made tea. 1. Warm cup. 2. Felt calm. 3. Walked into the kitchen. 4. Steam rises. The more you repeat, the more confident you'll get. Ready for the next story? Cloud with Rain speaking head. A quiet book and a cozy blanket. It was one of those soft, rainy afternoons that made the whole world slow down. The sky outside was a gentle gray, and the raindrops tapped quietly on the window, like a lullaby only nature could sing. Emily stood by the window for a moment, holding a warm cup of tea in her hands. She smiled. Today felt like the perfect day to stay inside, slow down, and disappear into a good story. She walked over to her little bookshelf, the one in the corner of her room with books she had collected over the years. Some were old and worn out. Others were new, still smelling of fresh paper. Her fingers moved slowly across the titles until she stopped at a book she had read once, long ago. A quiet story about a girl who traveled the world in search of peace. That felt right for today. Emily took the book and walked to her sofa. She pulled a soft blanket over her legs, the same one her grandmother had given her years ago. It was warm, thick, and smelled faintly of lavender. She opened the book and sank into its pages. As the rain continued falling outside, she read slowly. She paused sometimes, not because the story was difficult, but because it made her feel something. The words felt calm, like a friend whispering in the background. In the story, the girl visited small villages, spoke to kind strangers, and learned how to be alone without being lonely. Emily smiled again. Sometimes quiet is exactly what you need. Time passed without her noticing. 1 hour became 2. The house was still and peaceful. There was no TV, no phone ringing, no messages, only the sound of pages turning and the soft rhythm of the rain. At some point she looked up. The light outside had changed. The rain had softened even more, and the clouds looked like cotton stretched across the sky. She gently closed the book and held it in her lap. Her heart felt full in a small, warm way. Not from excitement, but from comfort. She got up slowly, folded the blanket, and placed the book back on the shelf. That was just what I needed, she whispered to herself. Then she looked out the window one more time, took a deep breath, and went to make another cup of tea. Now I want to hear from you. What kind of books do you like to read on quiet days? Your answer might help someone else discover a new favorite story. Share it in the comments or say it out loud. Let's practice what you learned from this story. Say these out loud with me. Read a book. 1. Soft blanket. 2. Rain fell. 3. Bookshelf. 4. For an hour. Repeat these phrases a few times today. The more you say them, the more natural they'll feel when you speak. Ready for the next cozy story? Let's keep going. Remembering a rainy day walk. It was quiet in the living room. Tom sat on the couch looking out the window. Rain was falling soft and steady. The sky was gray. The streets looked empty. He smiled to himself and shook his head. He was remembering something. Last year on a day just like this, he went for a walk in the rain with Max, his big brown dog. Started as a normal walk. The sky was cloudy, but there was no rain yet. Max was full of energy, pulling at the leash, ready to explore. Tom laughed. Okay, I'm coming. They walked through the park. Leaves were on the ground. The air smelled fresh. It felt like the world was getting ready for a nap. Then the rain started. First it was light, just a few drops. Tom looked up and smiled. "Oh," he said. Max barked once like he understood. Soon the light rain became heavier. Drops were falling on Tom's hair, on Max's back, on the ground around them. People nearby ran to find shelter. But Tom? He stayed. "We're already wet," he said to Max. "Might as well keep walking." So they did. The path turned muddy. Water splashed under their feet. Max jumped into a puddle. Tom laughed. "Really? You had to do that?" Max barked again, tail wagging, tongue out. Tom forgot about being wet. He forgot about his phone, his schedule, his worries. It was just him, the dog, the rain, and the sound of their footsteps on the wet ground. For a moment they were both kids again. Just playing. Just being. When they got home they were soaked. Water dripped from their clothes. Max shook his whole body, water flying everywhere. "Hey!" Tom shouted, laughing. "The walls, Max." Tom gave him a towel and rubbed him dry. Max laid down on the floor, tired and happy. Tom made a hot drink and changed into dry clothes. His nose was cold, but his heart was warm. And now, sitting on the couch months later, watching the rain again, Tom smiled at the memory. "I don't remember what I did the next day," he thought. "But I remember that walk." Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever walked in the rain? Maybe you got wet, maybe you laughed, or maybe both. Share your story in the comments. You might make someone smile. Umbrella with raindrops, paw prints. Let's practice what you learned from this story. Say these out loud with me. Walked in the rain. 1. Got wet. 2. Had fun. 3. Remembered. 4. Last year. The more you repeat, the more confident you'll get. Ready for the next story? Smiling face with smiling eyes, speaking head. A message to a friend. The rain was falling softly outside. Lucy sat by the window holding a cup of warm tea. The sky was gray. The room was quiet. She listened to the sound of raindrops tapping on the glass. She liked rainy days. But today she felt a little different. She felt quiet inside. A little bit lonely. It had been 2 weeks since she last saw her best friend Anna. They used to see each other every weekend, walks in the park, laughing in cafes, talking for hours. But now, Anna had moved to another city. Lucy missed her. She looked out the window again. Cars passed slowly. People walked by with umbrellas. Everything felt soft and slow. She hugged her sweater close and picked up her phone. She typed a short message. "It's raining. I miss you." She looked at the message for a second. Simple. Honest. Then she pressed send. A few minutes passed. Lucy stared at the window again. The tea was getting cold. The streetlights started to glow. Ding! Her phone buzzed. A reply. It was from Anna. The message said, "Me too. I'm looking at the rain right now. Remember our rainy day walks?" Lucy smiled. She remembered. They always walked slowly when it rained. They didn't care about getting wet. They just talked and laughed. Rain made everything feel peaceful, like the world was whispering. Then another message came. "Let's talk tonight? I miss your voice." Lucy felt a warm feeling in her chest. Her eyes were a little wet too, but not from the rain. She typed back, "Yes. Call me after dinner. I'll be here." She added a smile emoji. Suddenly the room didn't feel so quiet. She didn't feel so alone. She picked up her cup again, took a sip. Still warm. The rain was still falling outside, but now it felt different. It didn't feel lonely anymore. Felt like a friend. Audience question section. Now I want to hear from you. Who do you think of when it rains? Someone you miss? Someone you love? Share your story below. Your words might brighten someone's day. Cloud with rain speech balloon. Let's practice what you learned from this story. Say these out loud with me. It's raining. 1. I miss you. 2. Lonely. 3. Texted. 4. Replied with a smile. The more you repeat, the more confident you'll get. Ready for the next story? Hot beverage mobile phone yellow heart. Thanks so much for listening to The Window and the Rain here on Speak Pro Products. Did this story remind you of a quiet moment in your life? Who do you think of when the rain starts to fall? And how do you feel when you're sitting alone, just listening to the world? Try playing this story one more time and repeat the key phrases out loud. Speaking slowly and often will help you feel more confident. There's another calming story waiting for you next, right here on Speak Pro Products. If you enjoyed this one, feel free to subscribe or share your thoughts below.